in my last video I explored the meaning of the quote, "Dreams are messages from the deep." And in the process I articulated a mystical philosophy, a mystical vision of reality, centered upon the absolute. In this video I would like to explore that same mystical cosmology in a more systematic fashion, beginning in the beginning, where in the beginning was consciousness. A central theme you will notice recurring throughout my videos on philosophy is the central importance given to language. Now, language requires another video altogether, but for now let us suffice to say that language is inextricably tied into the structure of reality at the most fundamental and deepest level. Our journey into the beginning begins with being and existence. The word existence is composed of two parts, the prefix ex, which means to have come out of, to have been extracted and thus exited, and the verb sistere, which is cognate to the Greek histemi, which has the meaning of standing or stopping, most generally being established and in a state of stasis. So existence is that which has been extracted and exited from the underlying stasis. That underlying stasis is being, is the ground of existence, existence which has come forth from that ground into manifest actuality. From another perspective, an existent thing in Arabic is termed qa'im, standing. An existent thing is always qa'imun bi shay'in, standing upon something, is always established upon something. Now, that implicates a hierarchical view of existence, where some existent things stand upon others. The irreducible and abysmal ground of existence is that which stands simply by virtue of itself. It is al-qa'imu bi nafsihi, that which simply is. As in Exodus, where God announces himself as he who is, I am that I am. That pure being, that thing which is in and of itself, is being. It is the ground of existence, the abysmal darkness, the soundless deep, that which simply is, not for any reason other than itself. And so we have a vision of reality, where in the beginning is being pure and simple, being as the abysmal ground of all things, which underlies all existence. Then it behooves us to enter into that abysmal darkness and come to know what being is. For that reason, let us take up the concept of wujūd, which is the word for being in Arabic. Now, wujūd derives itself from the verb wajada, which means to find. From that verb we have the following concepts of being in wujūd, but also consciousness and experience in general in wijdan, and the pivotal concept of ecstasy in wajd. All these three form a trichotomy of interrelated and inseparable concepts, which are different words for one and the same thing. In this picture, existent things are called mawjūdāt, which literally means things which are found, things which are present in consciousness. Existence is therefore constituted of subject-object relational dualities, where the conscious subject is al-wajid, the finder, the one who undergoes this verb and activity of finding, and where existent things are the objects of consciousness, the mawjūdāt, those things which are found within the manifold of conscious experience. That manifold of consciousness is existence. Being is the ground of consciousness itself. And thus we have the vision of reality, where in the beginning is being, pure oneness, pure unity, utterly undifferentiated, but being utterly in and of itself. From that pure oneness of being, existence comes thus fulgurating and flaring forth into the multiplicity of things, into the manifold of multiplex appearances. From the unity of being, the multiplicity of existence comes forth. From the abysmal darkness, from that ground of being, the utter ground of all things, existence shoots through and comes rising up. And thus any particular thing which you see and observe and experience is rooted in this ground of being, is rooted in this pure and sheer and utter consciousness, and all things are constituted from the internal relational dualities and multiplex structures in general within the manifold of consciousness. We have the following table of concepts, where in the beginning is being, and where being expresses itself in existence. Being is pure oneness, existence is multiplicity. Being is absolute, whereas existence is relative. Being is infinite, where existence is finite. We shall explore this table of concepts in the next video.